As if the purple did not give it away, we're on the west side of town tonight for Ben Davis hosting Zionsville. The Eagles coming at number 2 on the season in 10-0, while Ben Davis is the Marion County champion in girls basketball for the first time in 10 years. Tonight's game on ISC and Comcast 81, presented by the Pearson Automotive Tennis Club. Indoor tennis year-round in Zionsville. Log on to PearsonTennis.com. By the Indy Card Exchange, Indiana's home for vintage and modern sports cards. And by the Indy Classic, the inaugural Indy Classic featuring number 1 ranked Purdue is just 2 days away. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Alongside Amy Anthrop, Greg Rakestraw with you. Thank you so much for joining us on ISC and Comcast 81. And Amy, those rankings kind of tell the story. We saw the Zionsville team a couple of weeks ago in the Sneakers for Santa shootout when they beat a then previously unbeaten Bedford North Lawrence squad. In researching the Eagles, what impresses you about this team?
Well, they're going to play through their stud player, Laila Hull. She's going to University of North Carolina. She's a great player, right now averaging 22 points a game, and she's one of those players that can really score on all 3 levels. She can attack, she can shoot on the outside, and it's a hard mismatch because she has such height. So the Eagles are going to play through her as much as they can.
When you think of a player that from this area that played at North Carolina, Stephanie Mavunga obviously comes to mind, that formerly played for the Indiana Fever. And obviously because of, unfortunately, Ashlyn Shade exiting Noblesville, it has opened up the conversation in terms of Miss Basketball. There's a couple of options from South Bend, Washington potentially you could have. We have a couple of options in this game. Laila Hull is one. The other would be Kristen Carter of Ben Davis. She's going to play at Miami of Ohio. She is a 6'3 senior, 18.5 points, and a staggering 13 rebounds a game. When you think of this Ben Davis team led by Stan Benj, again, Coach, what catches your attention?
Well, Stan Benj is one who has been around for a long time. He knows the game, and his game is ever evolving as well. But again, just like Zionsville is going to do, Ben Davis is going to play through their stud as well, Kristen Carter. She is one that the Eagles are going to have to box her out. She has a knack for finding the ball, getting to it, and then finishing extremely well at the rim. If
you look at these shooting stats, they are obviously different. Zionsville, 47% from the floor, but really pops as their three-point percentage. You don't see this much at the high school level. 41% from three-point range. Eagles make just shy of 6 threes a game. Flip side, Ben Davis, they shoot 39%. They're 27% from the floor. Well, the way they work around that is they swarm you defensively with their length, especially in the full court press. How does Zionsville combat 84 feet of defense from Ben Davis tonight?
Zionsville's going to have to just stick with what's got them to 10-0 and a number 2 ranking right now. They are very unselfish and they play through their posts, but they are a great inside-out team. They get the ball inside and they kick it out. So Zionsville's just got to stick to their game plan, play the way that they normally play, attack the rim when they can, but then kick it out when that option's available as well.
Of note for Ben Davis, their point guard, Kalia Toomer, will not be playing tonight. She averages 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists a game. She is committed to play for Mark Mitchell at the University of Indianapolis next season. With that, a change in the starting lineup. Coach mentioned Stan Benj. Let's go ahead and talk about Stan here at this point. Stan is now second all-time in the history of Indiana high school girls basketball with 680 career wins. He is just 50 back of Donna Cheatham in terms of the all-time list of Indiana high school basketball. 4 state championships for Ben Davis, all under Stan's leadership. 2000, 2001, 2009, and 2010. And again, Marion County champions. They secured that by winning twice at Franklin Central on Saturday. First time this program has achieved that honor since back in 2012. With that, we'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, virtual announcer and Aaron Pittman is in the building. They present our starting lineups, and we're tipping off this great non-conference clash at the midway point of the season. Again, number 2 Zionsville and the Marion County champs in Ben Davis. It's yours after this on ISC and Comcast 81.
On December 17th, Cambridge Fieldhouse is set to host the Indy Classic, Indiana's newest basketball tradition. This college basketball doubleheader showcases 2 iconic Indiana teams, Ball State and Purdue Universities, featuring the Ball State Cardinals versus the Illinois State Redbirds, and the Purdue Boilermakers versus the Davidson Wildcats. Proceeds support the mission of the Indiana Sports Corps. Tickets for the Indy Classic are available now at Ticketmaster.com.
The Gridiron Gang is excited to now offer quarterback development training led by professional quarterback coach J.C. Boyce. From the beginner just getting started to the experienced seeking advanced refinement, Coach J.C. has worked with NFL, NCAA, high school, and youth quarterbacks. The fully comprehensive programs include both on and off-field training with an age and skill level appropriate small groups. Coach J.C.'s personalized approach accelerates the quarterback's learning curve and overall self-confidence.
McCulling in time. Oh, no! It's good.
This one is caught.
There you go.
Wow, Dawson makes a great catch.
Spin, win, 3, bury it for Leland Walker.
Tie the game they do with the dunk by Malik Edmonds. What a play.
Oh, my goodness.
I feel a little momentum starting to fall Ellen's way.
That is Wrestler! Wrestler! Whoa!
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Ball here. Harris scores. With 19 seconds.
Same players, big boy. I'm telling you right now, that's awesome. I love it. That's the finish.
You get a layup to take it. And an and one.
Out of here.
The Ben Davis ROTC doing a tremendous job of presenting our nation's colors before tonight's contest. The voice that you will hear behind ours coming up in a matter of moments will be that of Aaron Pittman, who is on the public address system tonight. You hear Aaron at a variety of schools throughout central Indiana. He is our buddy at Virtual Announcer. And with that, let's tell you about our starting lineups for each of these two teams presented by Virtual Announcer. Make your game day experience the absolute best by hiring Aaron, and if he can't be there, he'll be your virtual announcer. And that's for any sport, not just hoops. Find out more and just how affordable it can be at Virtual Announce on social or by calling Aaron at 317-800-0612. Again, we touch on Laila Hull, 6'1 senior, 22 points, 9 rebounds a game, 43% from three-point range. Emma Hahn, 5'7 junior, also a double-digit scorer. Allie Caldwell, Faith Leedy, who is a 48% three-point shooter, and Mallory Hirt, who adds, again, some size. It's a lengthy Ben Davis team. Zionsville can match that. Hirt, 6' senior, 6 points and 4 rebounds a game. She also is 7 of 16 from three-point range. The thing I know, Amy, that caught your attention, it's not a deep Zionsville club, and that could be an issue tonight.
It's not. The way that Ben Davis wants to play, they want to get after you. They want to force the tempo up. So Zionsville only tries to play about 6 people, so they've got to really be patient, and they've got to make sure that they try to run their own game throughout this whole contest.
And Andy McGuire's done a heck of a job at Zionsville. We referenced Stan Benj. There's few coaches and none active that could match Stan's resume, but Andy's won 300 games in his own right and led Zionsville to the 4A state championship game where they lost to Warren Central and Stacy Mitchell 5 years ago in 2018. That was in a stretch of 4 consecutive sectional titles for Zionsville. Now for the starting lineups for Stan Benj and Ben Davis. Again, Kristen Carter is their star player. 18.5 points, 13 rebounds a game, 52% from the floor. Fellow senior Taylor Guest, 6'1 senior, 12 points, 6.5 rebounds a contest. Zoe Wheeler is averaging double figures, but normally does so coming off the bench. She'll start in Toomer's absence tonight. Kirsten Clark, Hermione Andrew, probably 8 will play tonight for Ben Davis, maybe 9 again for this Giants squad that last year were 15-10. But did win their sectional and did win their regional morning game before then losing to Mooresville down at Decatur Central in the Indianapolis regional final. Coach, your final thoughts before this one goes live?
I think this is going to be a really great game, and I think all of our viewers are going to see some top Indiana talent.
Chris Shields amongst our 3 officials for this evening's contest as well. And Ben Davis checks in at 10-3 on the season. Zionsville undefeated at 10-0. We referenced the Bedford North Lawrence win in Brownsburg. Other win that catches your attention is they beat Fishers by 2 that same week, back on November the 22nd. Their other 2 huge conference games in the HCC both happen in January. They'll play Noblesville, who, yes, doesn't have Ashlyn Shade, but still is a really good squad. That game is January 13th. And Riley McAlusky has led Hamilton Southeastern to a number 3 ranking in the state. That could be for the conference championship when Zionsville and HSC play. That is on January the 20th. We are underway from Ben Davis. Thanks for joining us on ISC and Comcast 81. Little extended zone pressure here by Ben Davis. Little matchup. Spot up 3 against Zionsville can do that well. They need as many of those to foul as possible. Emma Hahn, 42% from 3. Gets the first bucket of the game for the Eagles.
It was a great recognition there on the zone and knowing Ben Davis wants to play a lot of man and get after you, but Zionsville picked it up pretty quick that they're in that zone.
Well, both teams showcasing their strength immediately. For Zionsville, knocking it down from deep. Ben Davis's best offense can at times be off the offensive glass. Just go get it. Carter could not finish, but a couple of looks, and now on the alternating arrow, the ball goes back to the Giants. Clark will trigger. Man-to-man on the out-of-bounds pass, and Taylor Guest was the target. So of note, Laila Hull draws a defensive assignment not on Carter, but on Guest. So again, in her own right, a really good player. 12 points and 6.5 rebounds a game. Stewart will track it down. Ben Davis has a squad. They turn it over 17.5 times a game. They make up for that by having nearly 14 steals a game. Guess can't get it to go, and Hurt out of there with the rebound for Zionsville. So 3 interior looks, none of them fall. Almost one pass and a shot that time for the Eagles.
Yeah, Hurt looked like she wanted that one.
And as we mentioned, doesn't shoot it very often, but is efficient when she does, and knocks that one down. Hurt, a 6-foot senior, 6 points and 4 rebounds a game, and Zionsville out to a 5-0 lead. And Ben Davis receiving votes in the 4A poll. If you extended that out, they'd be tied for 13th. Wheeler slings it, couldn't get that to go. Weak side glass pulled down by Hermione Andrew. Carter with the left hand, got it. Kristen Carter gets the first bucket of the contest.
That was a really great pass by Andrews. Hurt's got to do a better job of trying to be 3 quarters around.
3 at the other end, and that is good as Hahn hits the triple. 30-second timeout going to be called by Ben Davis. We will keep it right here. So as we show you that ball being knocked down as Hahn has made a pair of 3. This read I'm about to give you, Zionsville may not need it. It's for our friends at the Hoosier Shooting Academy. Combine cutting-edge technology with old-school work ethic and make your game better at the Hoosier Shooting Academy. Go see Paul at 465 in Brookville Road and always online at HoosierShooting.net. In other words, they're shooting it so well they may not need to work on their game. One's not going to fall at some point in time, but you get the idea. Zionsville out to an 8-2 lead.
Yeah, Zionsville's just doing a really great job. Ben Davis has to know if they're going to play that zone, they've got to know where Emma Hahn is. She's a great shooter, and that's what she wants to get. 2 shots there, and she's 2 for 2, so Ben Davis got to do a better job of finding her and getting a hand-up contest.
Eagles, again, making just under 6 threes a game. So shooting 40%, they're taking about 15 a contest. A little above that pace here in the very early going. Good help side on Carter. Just old school basic basketball, just sling it low block, and that's going to be a foul against Zionsville. Hurt. Kind of got caught up in the wash that time. And let's see if Carter's going to get a couple of free throws out of it. I'm going to say Caldwell in 2 shots. So Carter the free throw line, and 49% for Carter. Ben Davis has a team 52. That one rattles in. and bakes them both. No full court pickup just yet by Ben Davis. I'd imagine we will see that at some point tonight. Extended zone pressure. 2-1-2 look. Turn down the pass, and still on to Zionsville. They've made their first 4 shots, 3 of them from behind the arc.
Yeah, Ben Davis just got to rotate a little bit in that zone. Everybody can shoot for Zionsville, so got to get a hand up. But right now, it's easy offense for Zionsville.
Is Zionsville literally shooting them out of that zone? Is it about time to go man for Coach Benj's squad?
I would think Coach Benj has got to be pretty close to getting that point. 3 for 3 from the line in the first 3 minutes of there behind the line. The first 3 minutes of the game. That's a tough stat to try to stay in a zone.
Deep 3 by Wheeler, no good. Rebound controlled by Zionsville. Look ahead pass, and that's a recipe for disaster against Ben Davis. It is tough for those passes to travel that length of the floor against a team of this speed. Wheeler again, not shy, and you can see why. Knocks it down. She had missed her first 2 tries. First made 3 for Ben Davis. Make a little more than 4 threes a game, and it's a 4-point game. Nice block-to-block pass. Hurts, finishes.
You know, Zionsville right now, they've got 13 points, and their main scorer, Laila Hull, hasn't even scored once yet. So Ben Davis is doing a good job of shutting her down, but just got to contain everybody else.
Amy, I'm not sure she's touched the ball yet. The offense hasn't gotten to her yet.
Yeah, credit Ben Davis's defense on that one, but still 4 other players on the court that they've got to find in the zone.
Well, what Zionsville is doing is solidifying why they're the number 2 team in the state. Nice lead pass, well done. Carter with 6.
Hurt down there is giving her everything she's got, but right now, Kristen Carter is just so much more physical down on the block, and that's an easy catch and an easy finish for her.
I can think of 1 or 2 players in the state that could hang with her in the post. Block shot, Wheeler with the block. Leedy with the miss, and that will technically be the first missed field goal of the game for Zionsville, and we're 4 minutes and 20 seconds in.
Yeah, Ben Davis has got some things going now. Wheeler knocks down that 3. They get the ball inside to Carter. That's a good little run for them. Hopefully get some momentum going.
Hertz will check out. Coleman will check in. Coleman, a 6-foot junior, 6.5 points. There is Hull for 3, and the 3-point streak is still intact. That is the 4th made 3 of the first 4.5 minutes for Zionsville.
Yeah, if you're Coach Benj right now, you just tell your girls eventually they're going to miss. Keep playing hard, and eventually the ball's not going to fall for them.
The law of averages comes into effect at some point, right? So foul on Coleman on the low block, her first, and team foul number 2. Well, there's a lot of chatter as to, Zionsville potentially versus a South Bend, Washington. That would be a semi-state game, by the way. They're both in the northern half of the bracket. But there's been one pesky voter that's kept voting for Zionsville and not South Bend, Washington. Perhaps the Eagles are showing you why they're worthy of at least a first-place vote in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, Coach McGuire is such a great coach. He always has his team so well prepared. They're so disciplined in their offense and their defense, and they just play extremely hard for him.
First Ben Davis turnover. It's very much kind of a pack line defense that Zionsville is playing, and understandably so. Now here comes the full court look by BD. No problem so far for Emma Hahn. But secondary turnover, if you will. Second giveaway so far by Zionsville.
Ben Davis playing up like that, I think just really plays right into their strengths. They want to be aggressive. They want to play fast. So picking up leads to a turnover, their ball going the other way.
A little 1-4 high set here by Ben Davis. Eagles score 61 a game, as does BD. That 3 is good by Wheeler, and if Ben Davis can match Zionsville shot for shot, then we'll be happy we're here tonight.
Yeah, Zionsville's defense, Wheeler is going to shoot, and she is a good shooter once she gets going. So Zionsville's got to make sure that they don't take all their attention.
The one player you don't want to leave is that player. She ended up missing it. That's the first miss from 3 for Zionsville so far in Hull. Again, who is a 43% three-point shooter. Part of the reason why she is playing in the ACC next year. And then a turnover committed by Wheeler. So both teams with 2 turnovers at this point. Hermione Andrew will check back in. Going to give Wheeler a break. Alona Devine is in the contest, a 5'8 freshman. She is playing the on-ball defense currently on Emma Hahn. As both teams have made 1 substitution so far, and Devine will get whistled for the foul. And it's the first one called against the Giants. Zionsville, this is their first game of the week. They have been, that's going to be an offensive foul going the other way. Leedy trying to create some space. Hurt will check back in. Leedy will have a seat.
Yeah, just a little bit of a shove there, trying to get open.
Four defenders surround Carter. And if you've watched Ben Davis play, you might wonder where's the 5th. But it's pretty basic offense. Just rotate your posts 3 out and try to find an angle. Good hands that time by Emma Hahn.
Yeah, it's pretty clear what Zionsville's plan is against Carter. They're going to send everybody they have to try to do whatever they can to stop her in the paint.
I do the exact same thing. And Ben Davis as a team, 27% from three-point range. Carter got downhill. Little contact. Fight for the loose ball, and Zionsville will track it down. That's Caldwell, but eventually comes out of there with it. Right idea, but again, Ben Davis now successfully speeding Zionsville up.
And that's what we talked about before this game. Zionsville's got to make sure that they play composed on their offensive end. Ben Davis has some things rolling right now from their defense. So Zionsville, they just got to slow down a little bit once they get into the half court and try to execute.
Malia Turner will check in, a 5'4 senior. And then Wheeler returns for Ben Davis. We've now seen 7 of what we expect to be the 8-player rotation for the Giants tonight. Hull able to poke it away and pulls for a long 2. There's not been much of a need for offensive rebounds for Zionsville, but Hurt is there with her 3rd field goal. Wheeler, tough shot, but again, every shot is a chance to go get it for this Ben Davis team, and Carter's got 8. Wheeler and Carter have all of the Ben Davis points. Well done on the low block. That's Jordan Coleman. Zions one of the few teams that can match the length of this Ben Davis squad.
They can, with Coleman coming in off the bench. They've got a lot of height.
Basically, of their 6-player rotation, 4 are 5'11 or taller. Wing 3 does not go. My colleague who last coached in 2A is shaking her head at that thought. 4 of your 6 players 5'11 or taller. Low block, Coleman, no. Second opportunity, wave it off. Even though the shot went, foul on the floor, no shot, underneath out of bounds with less than 10 seconds to go before the end of the quarter. Devine picks up the foul, her 2nd. Taylor Guess returns, and Kirsten Clark back in there as well. They're going to buy Carter a few seconds here and likely get her back in early in the 2nd quarter. Hull has a lane. Couldn't finish, but goes and gets it off the square. Got it. Hull with 5, and Zionsville cannot have played much better for 8 minutes. Number 2 team in the state, they look like it. Eagles put up 22 in the first 8, and they lead by 8. As you're watching the MIC on ISC and Comcast 81.
On December 17th, Gainbridge Fieldhouse is set to host the Indy Classic, Indiana's newest basketball tradition. This college basketball doubleheader showcases 2 iconic Indiana teams, Ball State and Purdue Universities, featuring the Ball State Cardinals versus the Illinois State Redbirds, and the Purdue Boilermakers versus the Davidson Wildcats. Proceeds support the mission of the Indiana Sports Corps. Tickets for the Indy Classic are available now at Ticketmaster.com.
Hey, Colts fans, it's your favorite quarterback hater, Rob Mathis, number 98. To date, the Gridiron Gang Foundation and I have provided over 300 scholarships to Indiana youth athletes with on- and off-field life skills development. Our scholarship program has been transformational for many families. Donate today for a chance to watch a Colts game with Robert in the Gridiron Gang Field Suite at Lucas Oil Stadium. Text Mathis to 765-739-GANG to donate today. Go Colts!
All of our Zionsville broadcasts on the ISC Sports Network presented by our friends at the Pearson Automotive Tennis Club. 8 fantastic year-round indoor courts available in Zionsville, open to players of all ages and skill levels. And in 2022, the PATC brought top-level professional tennis back to Central Indiana with the Rajiv Ram Foundation Challenger. Find out more at any time by logging on to PearsonTennis.com. Hull the miss, and Ben Davis the rebound. But then Ben Davis gives it away. Both teams with 4 turnovers committed here in the 8 minutes and change we've had so far. Great backdoor cut, just could not finish. And Hull's missed a couple of good looks.
She doesn't miss too many of those.
No. On the season, 54% from the floor. Zionsville made their first 5 shots. 3 of those from three-point range. They made their first 4 three-point tries, and they put up 22 on a Ben Davis team that's allowing 54 a game. Part of why Zionsville has an and O next to their name so far this year. Tipped away, but Hurt was focused on staying on Wheeler.
This is great patience here by Ben Davis.
Almost a 5-second call on Wheeler. Drive by Andrews. Shot was blocked, and Coleman able to get the outlet. Great find. Off the square and make it again. And a timeout going to be taken by Stan Benge, and Ben Davis once again a 30-second timeout. So 10-point lead, first double-digit lead for Zionsville. This 30-second timeout brought to us by the Indy Card Exchange, Indiana's home for vintage and modern sports cards. It's also the home of great last-minute Christmas gifts for the sports fan in your life. Want a little extra Christmas cash? Maybe it's time to make some money off your collection then, too. Stop by and see Andy on 96th Street, just west of I-69, or log on for more information at IndyCardExchange.com. Quick look at what Zionsville has done defensively against Kristen Carter. Again, virtually everybody in the game rotates towards the ball.
Yeah, this shows how much Andy McGuire respects how good of a player Kristen Carter is. The fact that that's their game plan, to send 3 or 4 people to her every time she catches on the block.
And that'll be a foul. That'll go against Coleman. It'll be her second foul. Team foul number 4. And again, foul trouble could be a problem for Zionsville. We have said a couple of times, 6 is the extent of their rotation that they really want to play. They have 10 in uniform, but 4 on an if-needed basis. Carter with a foul and on the way up. And Carter will shoot 2. Carter has the only free throws attempted so far of this game. So Hurt commits the foul. So the delay was because there was a wrong number that was signaled. And Carter rattles that one in. And she will play in the Mid-American Conference next year. There's a good chance that she will add to a very full wall of Indiana All-Stars here at Ben Davis High School. And she is given that honor, which, again, seems likely. She'd be the 15th in program history. Taylor Guess knocks that ball away.
Zionsville kind of left Emma Hahn back there by herself on her own island, getting double teamed by Ben Davis. Somebody's got to recognize, come back.
Like we said, at some point you'll see the full court pickup by Ben Davis. And even the best player is going to draw a double team in terms of that press. But on the back end, led an opportunity. Took Caldwell a while and eventually wouldn't finish.
That was great rotation by Ben Davis. They trapped up there, a little run and jump man-to-man.
Wheeler, no. And Hull the rebound. And again, the luxury that you got with Hull is she can rebound and then bring the ball up the floor.
Don't see that too often from a 6'1" player.
And how about this? Basically your two posts just exchange, and Hull drives it down the lane, and Laila Hull will have the first free throws of the game for Zionsville.
When I was going through and watching film of Zionsville, one thing I noticed was how great of a passer Mallory Hurt was. She really sees the floor extremely well when she catches on the post. Right there, caught on the left side block and just sees Hull cut to the basket for an easy pass.
Another thing that signifies Hull as a great scorer, she's going to give away points at the line. She's 86% from the stripe. Even impervious to the broadcaster jinx as she makes that one. She's got 9. That's a very connected Zionsville team. You can see that by watching them play.
They are. They play very well together. But if you watch any of Andy McGuire's teams, that's the way they always are. So he's a very good coach that gets his teams very disciplined and plays his style of play. So they're always fun to watch every year.
3 does not go. Good inside position by Leedy. And that's going to be a reach-in foul, I believe, on Kirsten Clark. See if it's her or Taylor Guest that draw the attention of the official. It is Clark, her first and team fourth. And you would know this from your days against coaching against Andy in Harrison's days in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference. Clark will exit.
Yeah, we didn't want to play Zionsville too often because they were very good with players like Rachel McLemore, Maddie Nolan. And that's the year that they went to the state finals. They beat us in the sectional pretty handily. So Zionsville was always a really hard team on our schedule.
Rachel McLemore, who is in the building tonight, she was on the IUP-UI team that won the Horizon League in 2020. They never got to play in the NCAA tournament. Then won it again last year as Hull misses. And with her bonus year, elected to follow Austin Parkinson to Butler. That'll be a foul on the floor against Emma Hahn. Her first and team foul number 6. There are some notable people here watching the game tonight. Rachel McLemore is one of them. Our buddy Steve Brooks, tremendous small college head coach, and these days the women's basketball coach at Marian University. How about Sharon Versip is in the building tonight too? That's going to be, a violation because Hermione Andrew had not had 2 feet yet in the court of play when she caught the air ball. So out of bounds to Zionsville. Easy as you like. Hull drive and kick 3 in the corner. Caldwell missed it. Tipped by Hurt. Out of bounds to Ben Davis. To finish, thought on Sharon Versip. Sharon obviously has coached at both IU as well as Purdue. Well, she has now been hired to start a new Division II program in South Carolina at USC Beaufort, I believe is how you say that town in South Carolina. So Sharon's here doing a little scouting for her new program. We wish her nothing but the best down in the Southeast. 30-second timeout taken by Zionsville. This 30-second timeout presented by the Original Gridiron Gang, who believe that budget limitations shouldn't lead to football limitations. Go to the originalgridirongang.com and click on the Foundation tab to learn more about how their training service can be provided at limited or no cost to underrepresented communities and to members of military families. The Original Gridiron Gang, developing skills on and off the field. Again, Greg Rakestraw, Amy Anthrop with you here on ISC and Comcast 81. Tomorrow night we've got more MIC action for you. Doubleheader featuring Pike and Lawrence Central. Kurt Darling and Pete Smith will have that. The girls' game on Comcast 81. The boys' game on My Indy TV 23. It all starts tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Well, the pace has certainly cooled for Zionsville after 22 points in the opening quarter, just 4 in the first 3.5 minutes of this one. But Ben Davis has been less efficient. They've made 1 bucket, actually 2 free throws is what they've made so far for offense in this quarter. And Zionsville is trying to get to their half-court set, knowing if you kind of belabor the point in the backcourt as Hurt hits it and is fouled and lets that press set up. Everything that Zionsville's doing is working right now. Bucket and one for Mallory Hurt.
Zionsville is always a team that wants to get out and transition right there, and they just beat Ben Davis up the court, move the ball around. Ben Davis a little bit out of position, ends with an and one for Hurt.
So Hurt makes the free throw. She is a 70% free throw shooter. She's got 9. She averages 6 a game. She is 4th amongst their usual starters in terms of points scored.
You watch her on the defensive end. She does not let Carter get too far away from her either.
In other words, those coaches that I mentioned that are small college coaches that are here watching, I guess as Mallory has their attention. Jump ball is called. The arrow will keep it right here. Another person of note I want to make sure we mention, he is out of the shot currently, but clearly he's got a bit of a basketball pedigree. Phil Eisenbarger is helping out Andy McGuire on this Zionsville girls program, former Indiana Hoosier. That shot does not go. Then Carter is fouled, and again, good things have happened when Carter has been around the low block, which she always is, and she'll get 2 free throws.
Even with her right there next to her, Carter just has a way of finding the ball, and she gets after it on the offensive rebounds, and it leads to her getting to the free throw line, or it leads to her getting some easy buckets.
Well, the story tonight is that she's making from the line. She has 5 of 5 from the stripe so far, 49% on the season. Law of averages caught up on that one. Zionsville with the rebound, then a foul on Alona Devine, which will be her 3rd. Just the team foul 6, so no free throws coming from that just yet. A little early that time. No foul being given, just saying, hey, wait for the whistle. Good drive. Extra pass. How about another extra pass? How about another made 3? It's a clinic Zionsville's putting on right now.
Zionsville is just so unselfish there. 2 extra passes and 1 offensive possession leads to an easy basket for Hahn.
How about this? 3 9-point scores so far for Zionsville. Hull, Hahn, and Hurt. A Triple H sort of evening for Zionsville. Devine, nope, but she'll get 2 free throws for it. The only thing you got to worry about if you're Zionsville is, again, getting players in foul trouble. As Caldwell and Coleman each now have 2. Just remind your fans, the inaugural Indy Classic is this weekend. Number 1 ranked Purdue battles Davidson with Ball State taking on Illinois State at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Get your tickets now by logging on to Ticketmaster.com. So Devine makes the first and makes the second. She is now 11 of 17 from the stripe. She becomes just the 3rd Ben Davis player to score. All the points previously belonged to either Wheeler or Carter. Caldwell can't hold it there for long. But eventually everybody rotated to the other side of the floor and found a way to get rid of it. Leedy, high arcing 3 is good. She is the 4th different Zionsville player to connect from 3-point range.
Just makes it extremely hard to guard Zionsville because they've got so many people who can score either in the paint or outside at the 3-point line. So they're just a very hard team to defend.
I don't think this is about what Ben Davis is doing wrong. I think it's about what Zionsville is doing right. Turnover committed by Ben Davis. Carter never got to that spot, kind of got bumped on the cut. Even the bouncers are going Zionsville's way, but then Hurt throws it away. Both teams now with 5 turnovers. It is a 16-point game with 2 minutes left to play before halftime. And again, this is a Ben Davis team that's coming off of 5 straight wins, 4 of them last week in the Marion County tournament. Carter, no, and to Zionsville's credit, they're minimizing Ben Davis's second chances, which is a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, Ben Davis is a great rebounding team, and when Carter shoots that, nobody else is really going in to crash the boards.
Leedy misses the three. Ben Davis, 5 points here in the second quarter. Clark fires one up there. And again, Hurt just sticks in front of Clark. Now Hull can lead the break. It's really a 3-on-2. Hull bumped on the way. Hull could be playing at a level we'll sure get that continuation at some point in time. Not yet, not in high school. That should be 1 plus the bonus for Laila Hull.
On Alana Devine, her third, team 7. Bonus impact.
So Devine with the foul. Hermione Andrew replaces her. Or maybe not. Carter and Wheeler will come out. Now a little deeper to the bench. Caroline Sampson will come on, 5'11 sophomore. Averages about a point a game. Hull connects. So Hull becomes the first Zionsville player in double figures with 10. Carter has 11 to lead all scorers.
It's fun to watch players like Laila Hull. At this level and how good she is, she makes it look easy. Her actions on the court, everything is kind of like a slower pace for her, and she just excels in so many areas. So she's just such a fun player to watch, and she's going to do amazing things at UNC next year.
Good hustle by both sides, and eventually a tie-up. And the arrow points to Zionsville. This is where I remind the Zionsville fans that DVD and digital download purchases are available when you log on to ISCSportsNetwork.com. In other words, you don't want to go back and watch this again because your team has played so well in half number 1. Well, we were told that Kalia Toomer wasn't going to play tonight. They're going to try to play her limited minutes, it looks like. So again, Toomer, normally a starter, has just checked in for the first time. See if that changes the kind of tenor and tempo of this game. And immediately there's a turnover by Zionsville. But then Hull will knock it away and get it right back. And then a timeout called by Zionsville. Again, that's just to maintain a possession. And that'll be another 30-second timeout in which we keep it right here. This 30-second timeout brought to us by Rutland Insurance and Financial Services. They've got all your business, personal, and retirement insurance needs, and now they've added Senior Medicare Health Solutions. Call Ron Rutland Jr. at 317-489-5764. Or visit his website at rutlandinsurance.info. Let's thank our ISC Sports Network crew. Captain Courageous himself, Alan Hughes, our Director of Camera Operations this evening. Thank you to Jordan Shue on the 1s and 2s and J.D. Arlen providing spiritual guidance in the A-team wagon outside. And as always, thank you to Heather McGowan, the tremendous Director of Athletics here at Ben Davis, for being so kind to welcome us here tonight. Next time we'll see the Lady Giants will be January the 6th when they take on North Central. Hull gets downhill. Shot altered by Taylor Guess. Also in for Ben Davis is Aubrey Ingram for the first time. A freshman guard as BD's gone a little deeper into the bench. Devine, no on the 3. Goes and tracks it down, then is fouled. It'll be against Faith Leedy, which will be her second. Should be free throws coming.
When you only play 6 players, you've got to continuously talk about the foul trouble. Right now, Zionsville's got a few players with 2, and when you only play 6, a few players, that's quite a bit. So that's something that Andy McGuire is going to have to talk about at halftime.
You know him better than I do. I'm not sure if Andy is a proponent of playing a lot of zone. There may be some times this year they have to because of, again, kind of limited numbers. Devine connects from the free throw line. Ben Davis as a team, 8 of 9 from the stripe. And makes that one as well. And now Devine, she has just 3 fouls, so she will check out. And Nyla Sims will replace her, a 5'8 junior. So Stan going deeper into his rotation tonight. So we're about a 10-second violation. She beat it by about a second or 2. And now Hahn will try to dribble out as best she can to ensure a last shot. Hull recovers. Hahn connects. And there is not a more fitting way to end the half than that right there. Hahn with 4 threes. And number 2, Zionsville, will be able to hang with South Bend, Washington, or anybody in the state the way they are playing tonight. Eagles lead by 19. We'll take this time out. We'll come back and begin our halftime show as you're watching the MIC on ISC and Comcast 81.
On December 17th, Cambridge Fieldhouse is set to host the Indy Classic, Indiana's newest basketball tradition. This college basketball doubleheader showcases 2 iconic Indiana teams, Ball State and Purdue Universities, featuring the Ball State Cardinals versus the Illinois State Redbirds, and the Purdue Boilermakers versus the Davidson Wildcats. Proceeds support the mission of the Indiana Sports Corps. Tickets for the Indy Classic are available now at Ticketmaster.com.
Hey, Colts fans, it's your favorite quarterback hater, Rob Mathis, number 98. To date, the Gridiron Gang Foundation and I have provided over 300 scholarships to Indiana youth athletes with on- and off-field life skills development. Our scholarship program has been transformational for many families. Donate today for a chance to watch a Colts game with Robert in the Gridiron Gang Field Suite at Lucas Oil Stadium. Text Mathis to 765-739-GANG to donate today. Go Colts!
40-21. Again, this is a headline matchup across the state tonight. Zionsville 10-0 and number 2 in the state. Ben Davis just won the Marion County Championship, and Zionsville is throttling BD. And it's not that BD is playing bad. Zionsville is playing that well. We'll talk more about that in a matter of moments. First, this for our friends, a new sponsor on the ISC Sports Network, our friends at ADP and your local rep in Anthony Bennett. Did you know that ADP pays 1 in 6 Americans? And did you know that if you mention ISC, you can get the full range of ADP services free for 3 months? That's right. ISC and ADP have partnered, and now it's free for 3. Call Anthony Bennett at 317-427-8249 or email anthony.bennett@adp.com and mention ISC. Again, alongside Amy Anthrop, Greg Rakestraw with you. 40-21 our score, and Amy, again, you know Andy McGuire's teams very well. He had a team that reached a state championship level 5 years ago, but this group is something special he has in Zionsville this year.
They really are. They have 6 players with Coleman coming off the bench who can score. Everybody can score at a high level, but what I like most about his team right now is their discipline on the defensive end. They play a pack line defense, but they rotate well, they talk well. Right now they are double, tripling, sending 4 people down on the block to guard Carter, but all of that takes a lot of communication, and his players are playing very, very well on the defensive end, which is leading to really good offense.
Scoring for Zionsville, Emma Hahn with a dozen. That's 4 made threes. Laila Hull with 11. She's made a 3 and made all 4 free throws. 9 for Mallory Hurt. 3 for Allie Caldwell. 3 for Faith Lady. 2 for Jordan Coleman. Caroline Sampson played briefly at the end of the half and did not score. Again, 4 different players have made threes. All 5 starters have scored, and 1 player off the bench. 6 turnovers in total by Zionsville. Only concern, foul trouble. Caldwell, Coleman, Leedy, all with 2. For Ben Davis, 11 for Kristen Carter, 6 for Zoe Wheeler, 4 for Alana Devine. That's it. Taylor Guess, briefly and surprisingly, Kalia Toomer did play tonight. Has not scored. Kirsten Clark hasn't scored. Malia Turner briefly played, did not score. Hermione Andrew also cracked the lineup, starting lineup in fact as well, didn't score. Briefly saw Aubrey Ingram, Nyla Sims in the game. Neither of those 2 got into the scoring column. If you are Stan Benge, what do you change for half number 2? What do you do different on either defensive or the offensive side of the ledger?
I think the first thing you have to do is you've got to make sure that they have the right mindset coming into the second half. Basketball is such a game of runs, and so they've got to come out in the second half, and they've got to have their run here. So if I'm Coach Benz, that's the first thing I'm telling them is make sure we come out strong, we play our game. Their key thing that they need to talk about is they've got to find their shooters. Right now, Zionsville has had too many open looks, which they are a very good three-point shooting team, but Ben Davis has got to rotate a little bit better out of their defense and find those shooters and at least get a contest up. A lot of their shots right now have been wide open threes. And then just continuing to play hard the rest of the game, try to find where they got some momentum from defense that led to good offense, but just understanding that there is still a lot of game left, and just to continue to play hard.
The way that Ben Davis can create points off their defense, they are not out of this one unless Zionsville keeps knocking it down the way they are from three-point range. Eagles lead by 19. We'll take this quick timeout, come back with more halftime show. You're watching from Ben Davis High School on ISC and Comcast 81.
On December 17th, Cambridge Fieldhouse is set to host the Indy Classic, Indiana's newest basketball tradition. This college basketball doubleheader showcases two iconic Indiana teams, Ball State and Purdue Universities, featuring the Ball State Cardinals versus the Illinois State Redbirds, and the Purdue Boilermakers versus the Davidson Wildcats. Proceeds support the mission of the Indiana Sports Corps. Tickets for the Indy Classic are available now at Ticketmaster.com.
Hey, Colts fans, it's your favorite quarterback hater, Rob Mathis, number 98. To date, the Gridiron Gang Foundation and I have provided over 300 scholarships to Indiana youth athletes with on- and off-field life skills development. Our scholarship program has been transformational for many families. Donate today for a chance to watch a Colts game with Robert in the Gridiron Gang Field Suite at Lucas Oil Stadium. Text Mathis to 765-739-GANG to donate today. Go Colts!
Look back at our first half highlights. Let's start with Ben Davis. Again, for Ben Davis, the offense revolves around Kristen Carter. Offense revolves around getting it on the glass. Again, I don't think Ben Davis, really did that much wrong offensively in this first half.
They didn't. I mean, Carter got a lot of good looks down on the block. Wheeler got some shots on the outside. If anything, you've got to credit Zionsville and how well they're shooting.
On the flip side, too, for Ben Davis, again, they're a team that averages nearly 18 turnovers a game. They've only committed 7, so they're kind of under their pace. But for Zionsville, like we said, 41% three-point shooting team. They make 6 threes a game. Well, I don't have the exact numbers. I'm pretty sure they're above 41%. The numbers made, I can tell you, they've made 7 in the first 16 minutes.
Yeah, that's over half of their points right now from the three-point line. So you've got to think about what you said before. Law of averages is going to play in at some point. But Ben Davis needs to get a hand up, has got to contest some of those shots on the outside. Zionsville's too good of a team to be able to shoot those uncontested shots.
The Zionsville team that has been off for the last 6 days. They won a league match at Westfield 6 days ago. They will once again return to conference play when they take on Franklin Central on Saturday afternoon. Then they will be busy over the holiday break. They're playing in Franklin's holiday tournament. They'll be playing Pekin Eastern and then likely playing Franklin or Brownsburg in the championship game of that. They'll also play Columbus East over the holiday break before then getting into their home stretch in the month of January. As far as Ben Davis is concerned, again, Ben Davis has been awfully busy after they won the Marion County Championship. They got a good win at Columbus East on Tuesday night. And then if Zionsville wasn't good enough, they'll play Homestead coming up on Saturday afternoon. Now, there is not an Ayanna Patterson on this Homestead team, the way there has been the last 4 years, but Homestead is always a tough opponent. And then Ben Davis as well will be busy over the Christmas holidays. They'll play Roncalli next week. They'll play the Cathedral the week after that. They will play at Noblesville on January the 3rd. And again, next time we'll see BD will be when they play at North Central, part of a conference doubleheader on Friday, January the 6th. Our cameras will be there. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back with third quarter action from Ben Davis. Giants trying to climb out of a 19-point deficit. You're watching on ISC and Comcast 81.
Leaps ahead, still on his feet. Stevens lunges. Are you kidding me?
Champions of Marion County.
Unbelievable. Touchdown.
Living up to that last name.
Wabash has the lead for the first time today.
So that was going to be a highlight reel.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, you can celebrate after that.
Hi there, I'm Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we do Query and Schultz on ISC Sports Network. And Derek, unlike Ted Lasso, we have a third season.
That's right. Season number 3 right now, ISCSportsNetwork.com.
Are they doing a third
You can
season on
see
that show?
episodes on Comcast 81 as well, Mondays at 7:30. I'm talking about our show, Jake, this beloved show that people tune into every single week. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, so many ways to watch Query and Schultz every Monday, 7:30. Tune in and hang out with us.
And you don't have to be a goldfish. You'll remember everything we say.
Third quarter action, moments away here at Ben Davis High School. Zionsville leading it by a score of 40-21. Our Zionsville broadcast at ISC presented by the Pearson Automotive Tennis Club. 8 fantastic year-round indoor courts available in Zionsville, open to players of all ages and skill level. And this year, the PATC brought top-level professional tennis back to Central Indiana with the Rajiv Ram Foundation Challenger. Find out more at any time by logging on to PearsonTennis.com. All right, Coach, is this replacing the basketball Jones after playing at a high level and coaching high school hoops? Is it you getting your fix from doing these games on ISC?
It is pretty fun, being away, stepping away from basketball when it's been my life for the better part of my life. It's fun to be able to watch these players play at such a high level, and it gives me my basketball fix. I go home and tell my husband there's not much better than watching basketball.
As an old coach told me, he goes, after his first game, he goes, "This is wonderful. I'm going to walk out of the gym with a smile on my face regardless of what happens."
Right. Nobody really yells at you either.
That's right.
And, you leave happy. And if I get to just talk about basketball and what's happening in the game, it's a pretty good night.
We're not going to yell at you on ISC. I can promise you that.
Appreciate that.
Kristen Carter with the miss in the left hand. Great pass by Hull. Caldwell had it tipped away. And both teams doing a good job of minimizing turnovers. And I bring that up. Zions takes great care of the basketball. They average less than 12 turnovers a game. It's just Ben Davis speeds you up. They always do. Well, they've not really sped up this Zionsville group just yet. They turned it over 6 times. Caldwell watches a defender fly by and couldn't get the shot to fall. But frankly, treading water is perfectly good enough for Zionsville. Staked to a 19-point lead. Clark, a senior. Armani Andrew, a junior. Clark line drives that one up there, does not go. But Carter will go track it down. And Ben Davis, a team that's not a great shooting team. They will just create so many chances by stealing the basketball, by picking up the offensive rebounds. As you can see, Zionsville again just sinking everybody in.
That was great defense there by Mallory Hurt. It looked like she was 3/4 around on the middle side, and then as the pass came, she found a way to get in front and steal that pass.
It's almost the old box defense you would play in the pre-3-point shot days. Everybody 15 feet and in. And that'll be a blocking foul against Kristen Carter. And Wheeler did make a couple of threes in the first half, but she's been the only Ben Davis player to show a propensity to knock those down in tonight's game. Good basket cut by Hurt, but normally when Hurt makes that cut, there's not 6'3" waiting on her. And she turns it over.
This is where I'm sure Coach Benj really wants. They've got to cut this 19-point lead to at least 10 at the end of this quarter, so got to find some offense somewhere.
Same thing holds true at the other end. When Andrew beats her defender, there's not normally Laila Hull waiting on her. She knocked that ball away. If you're just joining us, Hull going to play at North Carolina. Certainly an Indiana Miss basketball candidate. Hurt, I believe. No, that was Caldwell, and let's make sure she is all right. That was a hard fall she took. Neither team has scored here in the first 2.5 minutes. Leedy does just enough to break the 5-second call, but then at the same time carries the basketball, and both teams now with 8 turnovers on their ledger tonight.
There's that defense that got Ben Davis going in the first quarter. So now they did a good job on the defensive end. They got to stop. They got to turn over. Now they've got to find something on this offensive end to get them going down there.
Malia Turner will check in. Played briefly in the first half, did not score. The shot by Guest does not go, but Carter tracks it down. Carter blocked by Hull. So we have gone 3 scoreless minutes to start this third quarter. Great feed by Hurt. Hull lays it up and in. And now a timeout going to be taken by Zionsville. It is a full timeout. We will keep it right here. This timeout presented by our friends, the Indy Card Exchange. The Indy Card Exchange is Indiana's home for vintage and modern sports cards. It's also the home of great last-minute Christmas gifts for the sports fan in your life. And if you're looking for a little extra Christmas cash, maybe it's time to make some money off your collection. Stop by and see Andy on 96th Street, just west of I-69, or log on for more info at IndyCardExchange.com. Why would Coach McGuire call that timeout after his team's first basket of the half?
I think he's just got to get his team settled down a little bit. Ben Davis has brought a lot of pressure and a lot of intensity on the defensive end, so he's just telling his team right now, calm down a little bit, do what worked for you the whole first half, and continue to play defense down on the other end.
Zionsville has just 2 timeouts remaining. Ben Davis does have all 3 at their disposal. Eagles pitching a shutout so far here in half number 2. In fact, Ben Davis has just 7 points in the last 11 minutes and 6 seconds of game action. Guess's shot does not go. By the way, Jordan Coleman has returned for Zionsville. She is in for Caldwell. And Caldwell's being checked on by the trainer as we speak. Hahn just kind of lost a tire that time going through the lane, but Ben Davis could never claim possession. What is a short roster for Zionsville, maybe even getting shorter if Caldwell is not deemed eligible to come back in tonight's contest. Good inside out. Leedy missed that one. But as we mentioned earlier, don't know what her college plans are, but there are some college coaches here that I'm sure are pretty impressed with Mallory Hurt tonight.
For sure. She is just a really great passer, but she also is putting points on the board as well. But you don't see too many 6-foot post players who can see the floor the way that they do.
There aren't a couple of D1 commits on the floor. In fact, 3 players that we know of their commitments. Toomer going to UIndy, Carter going to Miami of Ohio, Hull going to North Carolina. Part of the reason why our cameras are here in Clark, I was going to say, if she got that in, that was at 4.99, 5-second violation called. Wheeler will check out as Hermione Andrew will check back in. Here comes full court man pickup by BD. Hahn. Clark tried to sell the contact, didn't get it. Hurt going to line it up from 21. Not that time, and Carter the rebound. And blocking foul against Laila Hull. Not the worst foul there by Zionsville to slow down the fast break opportunity.
Ben Davis does a great job of getting out in transition, and Zionsville's almost shut that down tonight just because Ben Davis has had to take it out underneath the basket quite a few times instead of getting a defensive rebound and getting up the court.
Be a kickball. It's not a box and 1 or a triangle and 2, but it is interesting to watch. It's usually Coleman or Hurt that has the defensive assignment on Carter. The other 2 posts have an eye on Carter the entire time.
Yeah, you can kind of see Zionsville's got a few floaters where they are sagging off some of the shots or some of the shooters on the outside to have somebody there to have a double team right on the catch.
That's Carter, though, that found some space to get Ben Davis's first bucket since the halftime break. Good to see Caldwell, by the way, will check back in. Next stoppage for Zionsville. Again, good lead pass to Hull. Hahn now lines it up, and those threes that were falling in the first half now are again, regression of the mean would be the stat nerd term on those. Good news is for Zionsville, they had no regression of their lead. They maintain a 19-point advantage.
Ben Davis is thinking right now, it's good to see that Emma Hahn is human, and she does miss sometimes.
After she made 4 in the first half. Yes. Yet to score tonight has Taylor, second leading scorer on the year for Ben Davis. High-low, Carter, 3 in the lane. So not a foul, but if you had 3-second violation on your referee bingo card, you can cash that in now. We see, what, one of those a month maybe?
We don't see him very often anymore.
Ben Davis would be the team, though, that maybe would get those because of just how post-centric they are. So many teams just playing open floor offense at this juncture. That's going to be steps, yep. Just hopped that pivot foot. Well, we're now seeing the Ben Davis defense that we're accustomed to seeing. Problem is, I'm not sure at this rate they're going to get to 42.
Their offense is strictly post-driven. They want to get the ball inside to Kristen Carter as much as possible.
Guess down the lane. Carter able to pick the rebounding, and she averages 13 of those a game. Wing 3 is good for Malia Turner. She becomes just the 4th Ben Davis player to score tonight. 3rd 3 made by the Giants. Caldwell feeling just fine, thank you very much. Left the game after taking that tough fall. Knocks down her second made 3. And Zionsville answers the Ben Davis 3 in a late whistle because our referee was trying to get out of the way of the oncoming train. Ball out of bounds to Ben Davis. Both teams 5 third quarter points. Again, good slip to Carter. Going to be called for steps.
Ben Davis is used to running that high horns action where they have both their post players up at the elbow and get a high ball screen and then post rolls right to the basket. They got lots of looks at that in the Marion County tournament. Zionsville's just prepared for that pick and roll.
And a timeout called by Andy McGuire in Zionsville. And that is basically, again, a possession-saving timeout. Second time that he has had one of those tonight. Let's go ahead and take this quick timeout. 45-26. Zionsville leads it late third quarter. Back after this on ISC and Comcast 81.
On December 17th, Cambridge Fieldhouse is set to host the Indy Classic, Indiana's newest basketball tradition. This college basketball doubleheader showcases 2 iconic Indiana teams, Ball State and Purdue Universities, featuring the Ball State Cardinals versus the Illinois State Redbirds, and the Purdue Boilermakers versus the Davidson Wildcats. Proceeds support the mission of the Indiana Sports Corps. Tickets for the Indy Classic are available now at Ticketmaster.com.
The Gridiron Gang is excited to now offer quarterback development training led by professional quarterback coach J.C. Boyce. From the beginner just getting started to the experienced seeking advanced refinement, Coach J.C. has worked with NFL, NCAA, high school, and youth quarterbacks. The fully comprehensive programs include both on and off-field training with an age and skill level appropriate small groups. Coach J.C.'s personalized approach accelerates the quarterback's learning curve and overall self-confidence.
Back to live action. You haven't missed a thing here at Ben Davis High School. Eagles 45-26. Eagles really haven't missed a thing either. It's been the way they've been shooting the ball all night. Caldwell couldn't hang on to that. 10th turnover committed by Zionsville. And as of now, the next time we would potentially see the Eagles, at least on the girls' side, as Ben Davis gives it right back, we are likely to do what we call the Hamilton County Sectional Championship. I realize Zionsville's not in Hamilton County, they're in Boone County, but we kind of lump them into the Carmel, Noblesville, etc. group, as Hull's shot does not go. That'll be our likely destination for the girls' sectional final on February the 4th. Carter to step through and kind of pinballed off a couple of defenders, but got it to go, and she's got 15.
What a move there by Carter. Hertz comes over for a double team, and she's able to just split it and finish with the left.
Well, Carter is holding up her end of the bargain. It's just that not getting much offensive help. And Hahn, a quick glance at the clock. Frankly, hold it for this long. And she got tripped. That'll reset things a little bit as Andrew with the foul. Clark, Wheeler, and Ingram, the trio that checks in for BD. Coleman will have a seat for Zionsville. Coach Eisenberger offering his instructions in the baseline corner. Carter with the takeaway. And that entry pass that there normally just isn't because of her wingspan. Wheeler, a long two, got it. Well, at 15, and now a steal. Wheeler looking for three, no. And Hull will wrestle that rebound away. Goes all the way down the floor. Carter got her on the arm, and Laila Hull will get 2 free throws. So third foul on Kristen Carter. That could be of consequence.
That could be. She hasn't, obviously Ben Davis needs her to be on the court, and she hasn't gotten a lot of breaks tonight, but she's going to have to play smart in the fourth quarter.
Hull to shoot one more. She's a perfect 6 of 6 from the line. Every time there's a sliver of space for Ben Davis, Zionsville slams the door shut. Going to the fourth quarter, Eagles, number 2 in the state, lead by 17. You're watching the MIC on ISC and Comcast 81.
On December 17th, Cambridge Fieldhouse is set to host the Indy Classic, Indiana's newest basketball tradition. This college basketball doubleheader showcases 2 iconic Indiana teams, Ball State and Purdue universities, featuring the Ball State Cardinals versus the Illinois State Redbirds, and the Purdue Boilermakers versus the Davidson Wildcats. Proceeds support the mission of the Indiana Sports Corps. Tickets for the Indy Classic are available now at Ticketmaster.com.
The Gridiron Gang is excited to now offer quarterback development training led by professional quarterback coach J.C. Boyce. From the beginner just getting started to the experienced seeking advanced refinement, Coach J.C. has worked with NFL, NCAA, high school, and youth quarterbacks. The fully comprehensive programs include both on and off-field training with an age and skill level appropriate small groups. Coach J.C.'s personalized approach accelerates the quarterback's learning curve and overall self-confidence.
Zionsville trying to extend their mark to 11-0 on the season. In the process, handing Ben Davis a 4th defeat of the campaign. Caldwell turns down the 3. She's made 2. Just beautiful.
So unselfish. Everybody is just looking for the next pass.
Hull couldn't knock that one down again. She's made 1. She's a 43% three-point shooter in her own right. Wheeler has had it going all night and connects again. Now Wheeler's got 11. She's the star of this team next year and plays the passing lane led again. But Leedy again bails Zionsville out of a tough spot. But then Carter knocks it away. And Hahn telling her teammates to settle. But this is what Ben Davis does. Hull scores it. Again, so few posts that Carter will guard that could do that.
Right. Credit Emma Hahn there. She got that ball and she told her team, calm down, everybody settle, and then ended up with a good look. Great finish by Hull.
And now a timeout going to be taken by Stan Benge and Ben Davis. And again, we'll keep it right here. This reminder, fans, that the inaugural Indy Classic is less than 48 hours away. The Purdue Boilermakers, ranked number 1 in the country, will take on Davidson, with Ball State battling Illinois State at Cambridge Fieldhouse. Get your tickets now when you log on to Ticketmaster.com. And I have said this on the pairing show before, and I'll repeat it here. I think the sectional that Zionsville plays in is the single toughest sectional in any sport in the state of Indiana. I think last year all 6 teams in that sectional had 14 wins going into the postseason. IHSAA, Zionsville, Fishers, Noblesville, Carmel, Westfield. Last year was Fishers and Noblesville that neither team had a senior in the starting lineup. They played each other in the sectional championship. Noblesville won it and went on to win the state championship. Draw means a lot in that sectional number 8. Two timeouts left for Ben Davis, just one remain for Zionsville at this point.
I watched Coach McGuire there during that timeout, and he's telling his team, just calm down. Right now, Ben Davis is sending a double team at the ball handler, and they're leaving. Zionsville is leaving that ball handler to handle it on her own. So he said, make sure we get somebody back and give her a good passing angle. She's getting trapped, so got to get the ball out.
Wheeler trying to be that second option for Ben Davis tonight. Ball knocked out of her hands twice. It'll stay here with Ben Davis. Taylor Guest will check back in. It's not been her night from an offensive standpoint. She'll replace Ingram. There's Wheeler. Couldn't draw it up any better and knocks it down again. Well, Wheeler has now matched Hahn in terms of threes made with 4. Wheeler's got 14. And at 13, this is as close as it's been in a while. So what do? Get the ball in your best player's hands and let her go to work. And Hull has 19 and a chance for an old-fashioned three-point play.
She is a special player. I mean, splitting the defense right there, finishing with the left. You don't see too many players like her come along, so I'm glad that I got to be able to watch her play tonight.
We are always glad to have you with us on the ISC Sports Network. One of our valuable offseason acquisitions. 52-36, Zionsville in front. And that's going to be an offensive foul. If that's on Carter, that's 4. It is. So Carter with the moving screen. 13th Ben Davis turnover. And now she's, again, I don't think you can take the chance to pull her if you're Stan. I think you got to roll the dice and hope for the best. Caldwell. Nobody ever stops the ball. Guest did with the blocked shot. Out of bounds to Zionsville.
Zionsville's doing a little bit too much dribbling right now with that trap coming. Keep your eyes up. Make an easy pass. They can't trap if you get rid of the ball.
And Hahn takes advantage of it. Just gravity got the best of her. Couldn't finish with the left hand. Turn move by Carter. Nope. And Hull had inside position, but then got poked away. And that's an and one. Hurt with the foul. Give Turner the bucket.
Ben Davis just doesn't stop.
No.
They don't stop. They keep playing hard. Defense is what has gotten them to a 10-3 record right now, and they are just going to continue to get after Zionsville till the final horn blows.
Well, Carter will come out, and I think what Stan may do is try to go offense-defense with her as best he can the rest of the way. As Turner connects from the line. She's got 6. Ben Davis has scoring from 4 different players so far, and Caldwell throws it away. Then Hull couldn't throw the brakes on. That allowed Carter a chance to come back into the game.
Smart move by Coach Benj. It's like he has been coaching for, 29 years or so. Sorry, 36.
So 29's here at Ben Davis.
36 years overall.
Had 7 years at Roncalli and spent 2 years on Austin Parkinson's staff at IUPUI. As I mentioned earlier, 680 career wins for Stan. 4 state championships, and that's going to be a foul on Hull. That'll be her 3rd. No free throws just yet. That was the 6th team foul committed.
Yeah, I mean, Carter there on that play, she had position. Hull, kind of a silly foul to reach over to the top, but like Ben Davis has done all game. They're going to keep looking inside.
And Wheeler for three. A rare miss. Clark kept it alive, and then Leedy ripped it right away from her.
I have a feeling if that one had gone down by Wheeler, this place would have exploded.
Hurt does just enough. And Hull did a good job to kind of break free of Wheeler, but forgot that she had a player lurking in the background in Carter. Or was Guess, excuse me. Guess got to that one. If these two teams are meeting again, it'd be in the state championship game. They're in opposite halves of the bracket in terms of the state of Indiana. Hahn did just enough to avoid the 5-second call. Hull takes the bump, the shot. Who touched it last? Wheeler did. Out of bounds to Zionsville.
A lot of high energy right now from both teams, so somebody on each team needs to just tell everybody, just calm down a little bit, finish this last 4 minutes, but be smart, play with some composure.
We've referenced Zionsville's ranking a couple of different times. Number 2 in both the coaches poll and the AP poll. Number 4 in the Sagarin ratings. Hurt, had it, lost it, but Ben Davis couldn't hang on to it. Hahn doing a great job. That'll be a foul. 16 foul, no free throws off of that. Second on Andrew. And by great job, not just playing keep away, but every time she has that retreat dribble, the 5-second count starts again. So she is doing a wonderful job of creating space.
Zionsville's pretty content to just slow things down and not really look for a lot of offensive shots. They've passed up a few open looks.
They may be in layup territory at this point. And even they're turning down layups, frankly. Caldwell lets a defender fly by and draws. It's tremendous. It's great basketball. That's about 45 seconds they took off the clock on that possession.
Yeah, they're running like a 4-corner offensive look, which opens up the middle drive, and then when you do drive to the middle, the defense has to help there, and then it's just an easy kick out. Right there, though, nobody helped, and Allie Caldwell able to get to the basket and get fouled.
And Caldwell connects. Does not go to the line frequently. These are her 14th and 15th free throws of the year. She is 8 of 14 from the stripe. Caldwell now with 8, which is right at her average, the junior. Of this 6-player rotation for Zionsville, 2 seniors, 4 juniors. Weird, I think that shot was blocked, and Clark ended up doing the right thing, needed to save that. But steps on the baseline and turns it over.
Yeah, great defense there by Faith Leedy for Zionsville. Wheeler's hit a couple shots. She was right there in Wheeler's face that whole time, and I think she did get a little piece of that ball.
Zionsville has just 1 timeout. Tough pass and got bailed out with a foul, I think. They're going to call that on Hull, saying the Ben Davis player had inside position. Yep. So that's on Hull. That's on Hull. That's her 4th. Yep. So Hull with 4. That is a turnover against Zionsville. And down to 3.5 minutes left to go in a 15-point lead, but every time your best player picks up 4, you get a little nervous.
Yeah, both Zionsville and Ben Davis right now, best players playing with 4. But this is where you trust them to be smart and not pick up that 5th one.
Caldwell gets it back, and like I said, layup territory. And Carter had rotated out with those 4 fouls, so you're missing a key piece here if you're Ben Davis. Turner, not that time. Cannot tell you how impressed I've been with Zionsville tonight. This is Ben Davis' team that backed up their Marion County championship by winning at Columbus East. That's not an easy place to play in the pit on Tuesday.
And even getting some revenge against Warren Central in the first round of that tournament.
Because Warren had been decimating people, and they did that to Ben Davis the first time around. We had the Warren Central ladies, and they beat Pike a couple of weeks ago in ISC. We'll see them coming up in January. Carter will come back in as Ingram will have a seat. Next time that Amy joins us on the ISC Sports Network, she's going to see the team that potentially could battle with Zionsville for the HCC championship. That would be third-ranked Hamilton Southeastern, led by Riley McAlusky. They're playing in the Paul Logan Classic at North Central. We'll have that one for you on December 28th and 29th. By the way, that free throw missed by Leedy, first missed free throw of the game for Zionsville. Been that type of night. Guess. Not that time, and Taylor Guess, though, will get to shoot 2. And that's on Hull, that's 5. Well, you can live with that if you're Zionsville. You had a 17-point lead with 2 minutes to play. Laila Hull exits with 20 points, and partner, she is as good, if not better, than advertised.
She is fun to watch. She came, when I was coaching, she came to a shootout at the school I was coaching at, and she impressed me then. She's probably a freshman or a sophomore at that point. So to see her now as a senior and how much she has evolved, she's a fun player.
Guess makes the first of 2. She's only a 40% shooter. Connects on that one. Full court pickup by BD. Hahn got fouled. And that will be 1 plus the bonus at the other end. This reminder to our viewers that our friends at ADP and Anthony Bennett. ADP pays 1 in 6 Americans. You may not have known that. What you also may not know is if you mention ISC, you can get the full range of ADP services free for 3 months. That's right. ISC and ADP have partnered together, and it's free for 3. Call Anthony Bennett at 317-427-8249 or email anthony.bennett@adp.com and be sure you mention ISC. So Hahn makes them both. That was her first 2 points of the half. She has 14. Carter could not finish. And Hahn again will play keep away. And she will keep that ball in her hands as long as possible until the layup presents itself, and she's got 16.
Hahn has had quite the night. Even just being a floor general for Zionsville, she's played very well.
And Amy, I don't think this got below 13 the entire second half.
No, even when Ben Davis went on their run, Zionsville just always had an answer right back at him.
And you can understandably see that the air's a bit out of the sails of Ben Davis at this point. They have chased this game the entire way. And a timeout being taken just to get a sub in for Zionsville. This is Sampson that will check in, replacing Mallory Hurt. Again, Zionsville has a conference game coming up on Saturday afternoon. I'd imagine if there is a practice tomorrow, it would be film study and free throws, and that's about it.
I would imagine in a game like this where it was a very fast pace the entire game, got to save those legs a little bit.
Coleman will attack and score. Coleman with 4. 21 points of lead. That ball did deflect off of Caldwell. So hence that's the whistle. It's going to go back to side out of bounds. We'll wrap up our broadcast quickly at the conclusion of this one. Once again, thanks to our great crew, Alan Hughes, Jordan Shue, J.D. Arlen. Partner, first time you and I had a chance to work together, hopefully the first of many. Great working with you tonight. I enjoyed calling your team's games in your coaching days at Harrison and Clinton Prairie.
Yeah, it's been fun. When I realized that you and I were together tonight, it's nice to be able to work with one of the best.
3 does not go. And that'll be a foul against Leedy. Well, having grown up in a small town, I have a kinship for the folks at Clinton Prairie, and calling that sectional semifinal when you finally got over the hump of beating Central Catholic a couple of years. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, just seeing the look on the girls' faces and the fans' faces that night. Something I'll never forget.
That was a very special game.
And I knew they do have to play another game the next day. I hope they can get back up for the next game. I know that was a bit of a struggle as that one goes down for Turner.
We did. I remember going into the locker room. Everybody was high emotions and just saying that next day. Last night was our statement. Tonight's got to be the exclamation point. And, yeah, they were able to play very well the next night against Sheridan and win the sectional title.
So Turner with 8. Closing seconds of this one. And tomorrow night at ISC, we've got a multitude of games for you as Andrew pokes it away. Caldwell can go to the backcourt to get it. And Pike and LC will be our Mick offering on both Comcast 81. Carter will foul out with 15 points as Hahn. Now we'll go to the free throw line again. Let's hope that Hahn is all right. She's going to take a minute. So Pike and LC tomorrow night. You know, we also, courtesy of Hot Dog Network, have Twin Lakes and Frankfort in boys basketball from Case Arena. I believe Rossville and Carroll is our other doubleheader tomorrow night. John Herrick and Craig Cox will have that one for you. Then on Saturday, it's Plainfield and Danville on MyIndy TV. The Indiana Lions of the ABA will be playing at the historic Bostic Gym. Kurt Darling and Antoine Wynn have that for you at 5 on Comcast 81. Oh, and by the way, Carmel and Kokomo also Saturday night with Dane Fife as our guest analyst. J.D. Arlen on the call of that one. That is a free stream on ISCSportsNetwork.com and ISC social media channels. Hahn is done for the night.
She's had quite the night. She deserves a little breather.
Marissa Koshnick is in there. We saw her in the junior varsity game. And Leedy will simply dribble this one out. Well, what a win for Zionsville. Again, they play such a great schedule. But this Ben Davis team had won 5 straight, won the Marion County Championship, and Zionsville did not care. They led by double digits the entire second half. Amy, your final thoughts on this one?
Zionsville is a very good team. I love how undisciplined they are, how disciplined they are and how unselfish they are. They are looking out for their teammates and trying to get that best shot every single time, but give them a lot of credit too for taking Ben Davis completely out of their game, the way that they want to play. Their defense was phenomenal tonight, and there's a reason that they are now
11-4 in the season. Zionsville 11-0 after a 20-point win. For Amy Anthrop and our entire ISC Sports Network crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Good night from the West Side. Zionsville looked the part. They win by 20. We'll talk to you soon here on ISC and Comcast 81.
On December 17th, Cambridge Fieldhouse is set to host the Indy Classic, Indiana's newest basketball tradition. This college basketball doubleheader showcases 2 iconic Indiana teams, Ball State and Purdue Universities, featuring the Ball State Cardinals versus the Illinois State Redbirds, and the Purdue Boilermakers versus the Davidson Wildcats. Proceeds support the mission of the Indiana Sports Corps. Tickets for the Indy Classic are available now at Ticketmaster.com.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at ISC Sports Network.